I believe that good health is active and the key to weight loss is taking action. Now, we do go on diets and we do exercise as a method of weight loss. The question I have for you, Wellness Warriors, today is that really the best type of action we can take towards our better health? Wellness Warriors, if you want to manage your weight, what you need to do is improve your health. On Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, what we're doing is we're focusing on improving your mindset so that you can achieve your weight loss goals. If this is something that you're working on, subscribe because I make new videos every week. To get healthy and lose weight, what we actually need to be willing to do is adjust our behavior long term. Now, yes, we can go on some kind of diet. I suggest keto. Yes, we can exercise. The problem is if I'm forcing myself to eat this way or I'm forcing myself to work out, the chance that I'm going to do that for more than a few weeks or maybe on the outside a few months is unlikely. And if I'm not going to do the healthy behavior forever, I'm not going to manage my weight forever. One of the things that I had to admit to myself early on in my struggle with my weight was acknowledge that I don't like working out. I never have. I don't think I ever will. Lifting heavy things repeatedly, doing an action repeatedly, I find that boring. Believe it or not, even though I figured out more than 10 years ago, I hate working out in the gym. I used to go when I was in my 20s. I used to go when I was in my 30s, and then I stopped going because it just wasn't working for me. Believe it or not, 2 years ago, I built a gym in my basement. Okay, why did I do that? Because we're conditioned to believe that if we've lost weight, the only way to maintain that is by working out. So 2 years ago, I built this gym in my basement, and I've used it a grand total of, if I say more than 30 times, I'm lying to you. Why? I hate working out. I hate lifting heavy things. I'm not going to do it. That was a huge waste of money that I don't use, Pat doesn't use, the kids don't use. What I'm trying to do right now is save you from making the mistake that I've made repeatedly of trying to do actions that are not in line with who I am, and so therefore are not going to accomplish the goal that I'm truly trying to accomplish. In fact, we need to be honest with ourselves about who we are, personality, and then figure out the things that we will actually be willing to do towards our health. And so health, I'm not talking about towards my thinness. As you can see from me standing in front of you, I am thinner than I was 4 years ago. But today we're talking about maintenance. We're talking about how does Violet stay on track and how does Violet improve her overall health? And what I needed to allow myself to understand was that when it comes to exercise, I like doing things. So I like riding my bike, skateboarding, snowboarding, skiing. I like activities. And the actions that I needed to take to truly allow myself to be physically healthy. So now I'm talking about strong and flexible. What I needed to do was acknowledge what I'm willing to do. So, and then engage the behaviors towards the goal that I set for myself. Yesterday, after supper, so we finished supper around, I would say, maybe 8:30, and around 9:30, what did Pat and I do? We went for a ride on our scooters, kick scooters, because that's what Violet likes to do. That's what Pat likes to do. And whenever we have a suggestion to go for a scoot, to go for a longboard ride, to go for a bike ride, to go for a day trip to ski, whenever we actually have activities put in front of us, we're much more likely to say yes than let's go do push-ups. Let's go do pull-ups. Let's go lift heavy weight. Very often in my comments, I will get people asking for a meal guide, a food list, recipes, to help them to understand what Violet is doing in order to achieve this weight and then maintain this weight. They're looking for me to give them the answer and to make this easy for them. What I'm trying to help you to think about is I didn't get to this weight by someone else telling me what to eat. The same way that I didn't figure out what kind of exercises work for me by somebody else telling me what workouts to do. Although my brother did make me a lovely training program when I built the gym because he loves going to the gym. I don't use it because it doesn't work for me. In fact, what works for me and what will work for you is paying attention to who you are and then figuring it out. If you want the answer to be easy, what you're really saying is that you're not willing to put in the work to improve your health. And if you're not willing to put in the work to improve your health, how will this work long term? At some point, you will be faced with a fun food that you remember loving. If I'm not willing to put in the work to maintain my health, am I going to be able to choose the healthy food? Am I going to be able to say no to the junk food? Am I going to see that putting in the effort in this moment is valuable? Wellness warriors, I need you to understand that this is important because our bodies need continual upkeep. Can you imagine someone who buys a vintage car, but then treats it the way that we treat our bodies? That they use the cheapest gas, that they don't wash the vehicle very often. They treat it like an everyday driver. They drive it in the winter where we have salt and all the garbage getting onto the vehicle. They don't do the maintenance regularly. And they just, if they need to do any repairs, they use the cheapest rather than using quality original parts. Compared to someone who has their vintage car and they drive it only in the summer and they wash it regularly. They use the best quality gas. They make sure that if they're going to do any repairs, they use original parts and basically treat this vehicle in a way that allows the value to remain in the vehicle. And as a matter of fact, not only does it remain, the value can actually rise. In both cases, very likely the vehicle will last, so be drivable at minimum 50 years, maybe even longer depending on the brand of the car. But the resale value of the two cars will be extremely different. When we treat our body like the valuable machine that it is, that's going to take us through the rest of our life, then we will feed it the nutrients that it needs to build and repair with the cleanest possible fuel we can to keep the internals working the best that they can, rather than looking for shortcuts, rather than trying to cheat, rather than trying to have the junk as well as keep the body looking. You cannot put poor quality parts in a vehicle and then resell it for the price you could if you had put originals. Same thing here. When I allow myself to eat poor quality food, I'm now building my body with poor quality protein, poor quality fats, and I'm hurting myself with extra carbohydrates and chemicals that my body did not need. Please, wellness warriors, do not treat your body like it's a junker, like it's the car that you drive in the winter just to get from home to work and back. Make sure that you treat your body like the important vessel it is to get you from today till the rest of your life. There are some videos on the screen right here that are going to help you to improve your health and get your mind straight on how to live a better life. Everybody who's new, subscribe because I make new videos every week. Wellness Warriors, I love it when you come back. And I want to thank you all for watching Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet. I can't wait to talk to you again next week.